Hey guys, so we got a bit of explaining to do on this. Basically, what happened was if any of you guys saw the two videos we tried to do on Tuesday, both times I left the call for no reason. Reason is my computer is about to go into the shop because the RAM died on
He's lying. The truth is contract disputes.
it. Yes, I'm contractually obligated to be a dick to you.
Well, you wouldn't be the first.
Yep. So, yeah, rock solid friendship on the new episode day. Kind of weird that we're talking about last week's episode on a Saturday, but whatever. We'll
Well,
do
if
first
this,
Eileen's in on Tuesday, no worries.
well, if this season can have as weird a schedule as it's having Canada or otherwise, I don't see why we can't as well.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. Kind of weird. So yeah. Let's just talk something real quick though. I think the reason that everyone else is doing episodes before the hub is because it's been syndicated for a while and people can just do that now. Because they're just like,
Yeah,
you know what? We'll give other stations, like, the one now with Canada, I think it's all like Treehouse or something like that. And then
yeah,
Tiny Pop over in the UK, that's able to do whatever they want with it. But yet bronies are so anxious to eat up Pony as fast as they can. They're being able to watch them a little earlier.
yeah. That's pretty clever when you think about it. Really, I mean, viewer demand is always even in its seventh season. As much as its peak, maybe not, but viewer demand for this show is still pretty high. So, and I guarantee you, even some of those folks that left the fandom, like maybe even around season 3 era, are probably still gonna want to check out this movie. Only thing is that they're not gonna have any idea what's going on because of all the new characters. So,
Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know that.
That's the thing. From season 4 midway point onward, we tend to have a lot of like good series wide continuity up until this point.
I know it's been dope-tastic, man. And I want to I want to get a this is something I've been thinking for a while, but I think this is a good place to put this out. I can understand people never wanting to give the show a chance. I really can. But like I honestly can't understand why people would stop watching. I mean, have there been good episodes, bad episodes? Sure, but like this doesn't really feel like a show that's changed all too much. It's just introduced some new characters and become a little more self-aware. But like, I don't understand how people. I mean, a popular excuse for people to stop liking a show or a band or a game series or whatever, they always go to the fan base, and I can understand that. But realistically, it's more an internal issue with them. So
I'd have to disagree with you a little bit on that. Not for the series itself, but it seems like the individual episodes are tending to be a little out there now. Does that make sense?
you mean like plot or something?
Just like the tone of the series now is a bit more out there than it used to be.
Well,
I don't know.
they gotta keep it interesting. I don't know how long the show's gonna go, but they may have a veritable next generation. Not literally, but the hub potentially has the next Simpsons more as far as length goes on their hands. So they gotta keep something interesting.
That could very well be. Although I don't want this show going like 30 plus seasons. That would be really weird, honestly.
Oh, don't you goddamn lie to me.
Well, I mean, like, I'd rather them like introduce a Gen 5 rather than keep Gen 4 going for 20 plus years. Does that make more sense?
No,
Have a
I
Gen
get
5
you.
with a new set of characters.
No, I get you, but man, I tell you what, when Friendship is Magic comes to a close and eventually they come out with a new generation of My Little Pony, that next act is gonna have a tough is gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's kind of weird though, because like I'm borrowing this DVD from my brother-in-law. This is the one where they have the commentaries on it. So I'm waiting to
Yeah.
see when Kathy Westluck in the first episode, when Spike first sees Rarity, you just see Kathy in her Spike voice going, "Rarity, please notice me." I want to see that
Yeah.
kind of commentary for this season. But like, just going back to this real quick, it's just so different now. But we'll save more of that for the season
Yeah.
7 retrospective once that comes out. So
Do you think one more thing? Do you think when Kathy Westlock, um, when Spike isn't written that well, do you think Kathy Westlock ever just like stops to herself and she's like, I was a pretty accomplished voice artist for anime dubbing. I was the secondary antagonist in Death Note, and now I have to be this punching bag.
well, honestly, I've been wanting to ask most of the voice actors that same question. Like, do you ever look at a line in the recording booth and you're just like, what am I supposed to be reading here?
If any of them have ever felt that, I guarantee you no one has felt that more than Tara Strong. Because throughout her career, she has seen and said it all. And man, I tell you what, even if we think it's good, there's probably a few things Twilight's had to say where she's just like, are you sure?
Yeah, something like that. So,
But
anyways, on to this episode.
yeah, yeah.
So, it starts off with Maud graduating from with her doctorate degree in rockology. The puns just keep on coming. The pun train has left the station.
Oh my God, there's so many rock and roll gags, but there's not enough time in, the Earth's life cycle to say them all.
Yeah, something like that. So you have her coming up to the stage. The only people there, she's the only one graduating, and the only people there are her family.
That tells me a few things. One, that tells me Maud doesn't really have any friends, which I could have assumed, and this episode that's one of the plot points of this episode. But also to add to that, that also tells me Maud was the only person going for that degree, which I have to wonder about the school. Is that a school for rocks, or is that like one of those like interim schools where it has a shitload of subjects, but Maud was just happened to be the only student? Basically, what I'm saying is that I don't understand how Equestrian's education system works, but it seems very minuscule.
I know, and considering that we have majors in our universe that has, a bunch of stuff talking about tectonic plates and canyon building and all this other stuff, that this is kind of like one note in this universe. It's kind of interesting. And I love how Pinkie is at the end just going, encore, encore. And you just have Maud going up here, and it's like, hi, I'm Maud. Keep going, keep encore, encore. I wasn't finished, Pinkie. Hi. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Just
Hey,
classic Maud.
classic Maud. I love how she's only been around for 3 seasons and only been like maybe I think it's close to 10-ish episodes now. But yeah, she's at a point where we could just be like classic Maud, LOL. That's great to me.
Yeah, well, she did come in a really good episode and has stayed consistent quality this entire time, which I'm happy about.
I sure as hell think so.
So, Maud is potentially moving to Ponyville.
Does she find out next week?
Yeah. Find out next time. We're gonna have 5 more filler episodes of Dragon Ball Z before we find that out.
We need a whole episode that's just Maud and Boulder just walking.
22 minutes of her just walking. No talking or anything. Or just like Maud being introspective the entire episode. That would be freaking awesome.
I'm still waiting for the entire episode about Gummy.
Yes. What is life? Is it nothing more than an endless search for a cutie mark? And what is a cutie mark? But just a reminder that we're all one bugbear attack away from oblivion. And what of the poor gator? Blank, forever blank. Uh, destined to flow down the river of life to an unknowable destiny.
AKA headcanon the episode, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh, that was just M.A. Larson. Just congrats. That was just fucking awesome.
Thanks,
Anyway.
M.A. Larson. Literally.
Yeah.
So
yeah, literally.
So intro happens, and like John said, that's the conflict of the episode. The two options Maud has for moving are either Ponyville or what was the other place called? Ghostly Chasm or no?
Ghastly Gorge.
Gorge. So the Gorge. The options are either Ponyville or Gordon Ramsay. And Pinkie Pie's like, dude, you should totes move to Ponyville. And Maud's like, but dude, Gordon Ramsay is so cool. It's got so much like stuff and stuff. And
well,
she's
I mean, she's even going around and trying to show more things about Ponyville that she loves that are rock based. And I'm like, Pinkie Pie, I already didn't like you from Friend Indeed. But that was someone you didn't know. This is your sister, for goodness sakes.
yeah, that was the.
And it seems one note for you. What's going on?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up was the fact that this episode to me is basically how Friend Indeed should have gone, because listen, Pinkie Pie in Friend Indeed was not the bad guy, but there was an opportunity.
Still was annoying.
There was an opportunity for her to be presented in a light that was synonymous with, okay, your intentions are good, but you went about them wrong. However, the episode tried to paint Pinkie Pie completely in the light to put her over as a face, but she kind of just came off as a heel. So in this episode, it's literally like between the Gilda episode and the recent Trixie episodes, it's like Friendship is Magic is on a path of like, okay, let's write characters we did wrong. Let's write as in not right, but let's do right by characters we wrote wrong. And let's rehash some episodes, but unlike Family Guy or SpongeBob, let's do it in a bit of course correction to basically to write them better. So they are, I wouldn't say they're recycling plots or even rehashing them. They're kind of like alternate retellings, but that's probably just me defending the show. Point I'm trying to get at is that I literally this whole episode was just thinking of Friend Indeed, and especially later when Pinkie Pie's told how bad she was, like that was just so cathartic. I'm just like, yeah, you should feel bad.
Is it weird that with at least the two of us that we're like, the way we like the characters is to see them in pain and suffering?
Well, because I am a believer of the sentiment that pain is an excellent teacher, and the best, and not always, but the best way to develop a character is to have them go through something tough and traumatic, not traumatic, but just something tough and trialing, and to see them come out on the other side learning something or being better than they were before. Now, some people might think that's being a sadist. I think, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. So, she's eventually going to all these different places. There's a cavern they're going to that looks like the cavern from
dude, I was so legit. I was
from Gauntlet of Fire.
I was so legitimately triggered that the Diamond Dogs didn't show up.
I know, right? Maud would have loved them.
So the interesting thing about this interaction to me was because if I remember right, they did not showcase Starlight Glimmer in any of the trailers. So I was under the impression that, because basically the episode is find a friend for Maud, but but they didn't like specify, who the friend would be or whatever. So when I saw the trailers, I was thinking, oh, okay, they're going to continue their plot line from their Manhattan episode. They did not, unfortunately, but
Yeah. What's really nice though is they're eventually at the castle.
I don't mean
And
that in the sense of like it would have. I don't want to say it would have made a better episode because this was a good episode, but I don't know. I guess it's because it was something established and they would be continuing.
yeah, but like they're at the point of they're at the castle and I like the joke that they made here is like I'm expecting someone come out right now. Okay, right now. Huh, I thought someone would have come out at this point.
That is a case of seeing a joke we've seen a million times, but they're still able to make it funny because that's one thing the show does always had. I've always said is comedic timing
Yeah, for the most part. There are
for the
some
most
Pinkie
part.
stuff that really annoys me. Through the crowd. Sorry, something stuck in my throat.
Hate that episode.
Yes. That will forever be one of the worst episodes I've ever seen of this show.
And if you disagree with me, then well, I respect your opinion.
But just know that ours is better.
But you're wrong. Yeah, know that you're wrong, but I will let you be you're wrong because I'm a good person. Oh, I'm so full of shit. So yeah, the friendship forms between Starlight and
Well, even
between.
before that, did you see what she did with Lyra? She just like
Oh my
pushed her
god.
up and she's like, "This is a rock." No, that's another person. I'm just like, and we thought that Lyra was the weird one. And now we're looking at Bon Bon is just like, yeah, take her away. You know you're a secret agent, just take her away.
Yeah, I love how she just has this look that's just like, give back my girlfriend, please.
Yeah, right. Give back my love muffin.
Oh god.
That'd be more something Derpy would say though. But anyway, go on with the Starlight
So I really like how they built this friendship because for the most part, and I'm probably forgetting some crucial things, but for the most part, when it comes to friendship building, there's usually either some form of an established relationship, or they were friends, but there's a conflict, or Pinkie Pie just kind of forces herself onto somebody. But sorry, sinuses. But the relationship between Starlight and Maud, who, by the way, Starlight is just getting all the wives now, apparently.
Yeah,
Starlight,
she's the new waifu stealer. Brad, step aside. You have a new challenger.
So, there's little this. It's only their scenes together in this act are only together for like only amount to like 2-3 minutes, but they were written so good because they bonded while also developing their characters for us. Like Starlight, for instance, when she's talking about how much she likes kites and stuff, and I didn't even know this because I don't know kites, but she's using actual kite terminology, and I'm thinking to myself, huh? What? And usually shows, typically animations do this with characters where like they were bad but they turned good, and they I don't want to say regress or revert, but they kind of start writing the used to be bad guy in a more not innocent or just childlike even, but a lighter tone, because in the name of like, oh, now that they're not so obsessed with being evil and dark, they can be who they really are, or it's like, oh, they can get in touch with who they used to be and be happy, blah blah blah. and and a little thing like kites. First off, I mean, kites will always have a special place in my heart because the last like 5 minutes of Mary Poppins, but
Yeah, I
they
wonder if Mary Poppins is one of Starlight's favorite movies.
they should, if they should, because Daniel Ingram would have been the guy to do it, compose it. They totally missed an opportunity to even have like in allusion to "Let's go fly a kite."
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Maud, and you said this when we tried to do the reviews last time. This is the most we've seen Maud smile consecutively in a single episode.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
the thing about this show is that, and it's been pointed out forever, and it's not intentional. I know it's not, but the way the eyes are, and the way how they're big, and the way they're structured, and whatever. Every single time someone blinks and their eyes are half closed, even in Equestria Girls, they look like bedroom eyes. So the whole episode, I know it's not, but the whole episode, Maud just looks like she's flashing bedroom eyes at Starlight, and it's like Maud's looking at her and she's just like, "Well, we were talking about kites. I know I'm not a unicorn, but I'll make you feel like you're flying."
I'm just gonna respond with shipping.
Yeah, that's all you could do. Between this episode and All Bottled Up, it really feels like that, like not that it was their intention to set up a ship, but or nothing like that, but just like to you know what I'm getting at, just like a little like poke to the weird fans like me. And
And
Mod take
with all bottled up, you were talking about how, I'll make you feel like you're flying. I'm just thinking, I can just imagine that there's some sort of Klopp artist out there, or Klopp fanfic writer that's just like, you're right, Trixie. I guess I was all bottled up.
I was gonna say too, you could easily just replace the bottle of anger, take it from being red to make it purple, and talk how it's like pent up tension.
It's
So
so thick
Mod,
you can cut it with a knife.
oh god, no, because then that means the pony she affected. No, never mind, because that's a 5-way orgy waiting to happen. So, so moving on,
Including
Mod.
both biceps.
Oh, oh god. So moving on, I want to wrap this up now because now after this I'm immediately gonna go put my head in a blender. The Mod takes Starlight to the caves that they were at prior, and
Mhm.
um it's a simple question, one we've had, but effectively answers a question that Starlight poses to her. She's like, "Yo, what's up? Why you like rocks so much?" And I remember what she said, but to summarize, Maud's judgment is Maud's response is basically an answer to why, not all, but why some lonely people like myself, like video games so much. It's like, response is basically like, rocks don't judge or think you're weird.
Mhm.
You know, well, they do if you're playing Undertale, but Undertale's the game that hates everybody. And there's this real poignant response, and it makes sense for Maud to explain this with the person she's bonding with, as opposed to, say, Pinkie Pie, or I don't want to say one of the main six, but because Pinkie Pie knows why Maud most likely is in the rocks, but for a new friend, it's something revealing like that, and the kite thing I like so much because it's revealing something about the other, but it's nothing like too deep. Oh, and we forgot the gag where it's revealed Starlight found her staff from the season 4, sorry, 5 premiere, because she came across Maud randomly in the field, and she's like, "Hey,
Oh
do you know where?"
yeah.
She's like, "Hey, do you know where you can find a staff that can hold people's cutie marks of free will or whatever?" And Maud's just like, "Yeah, it's over there." And Pinkie Pie's like, "Dude, you can't tell anybody." And Maud gets Starlight's back, and she's like, "Well, she hasn't brainwashed anyone lately, has she?" Not knowing about every little thing she does, and I'm just like, damn. That's
Yeah.
see that plays back into the continuity thing we were talking about earlier.
But
So,
even going back, like when they're talking about the kites and Pinkie comes up as a pizza delivery pony, and then
oh my
she's like,
god.
"Oh, it's for that," and Derpy comes up and she just like throws the pizza at her, and then Derpy like gets hit by it and it goes away. She
Dude,
runs after it.
Dude, she threw that pizza like she was Walter White. Like, seriously.
I know. By the way, I was hearing some commentaries about that. It took them like 40 takes to get the whole pizza on the roof for that scene.
Well, if I know Bryan Cranston like I would like to believe I do, he probably would not take anything less than perfect for that, especially because it's a serious scene, but that pizza thing is funny too.
Yeah,
So yeah, I went on a bit for that, but it's just little subtle things like that that the show always that to this day the show still retains that they do right. It was real nice, and then I gotta admit, I felt bad for Pinkie at the exact same time I was relishing in her suffering because, look, the moral of the story is it's not don't be a third wheel. It's more something along the lines of, you know, be aware of when you're intruding because speaking as someone who has been the third wheel and whether or not he intended it is not important, and as someone who has been around when there is a third wheel, it's a delicate argument almost, just because if you're being the third wheel, usually it's because you want everything to go right or you want to be included, and there's other things too, but maybe either you're not welcome or you're ruining it. But when you're the person, other people that are around the third wheel, it's like you don't mind that they're around, but they're kind of intruding, and it kind of it kind of ruins things. So it was bittersweet because I always wanted Pinkie Pie to get her dudes what she deserved from a friend in need, but at the same time it's a little thing, but I just felt so bad for her just because, like, oh man, I've been there before.
yeah, and you
I
see,
I rel I relished in her suffering more than I felt bad though, but it's like 51 for it's like nah it's like 55-45.
yeah. So going up with you have Maud and Pinkie as they're about to go to sleep, and Pinkie again. Sorry to say, I did not like you for most of this episode, but she was
But
looking at,
this time I think that was the intention.
yeah, something like that. So you have, Pinkie going off on Maud. It's like, hey, are you gonna, are you gonna be friends with Starlight? Blah blah blah. And Maud leaves in the middle of the night, writes a note, as in, Pinkie, I've made my choice. I'm going to Ghastly Gorge. I'll see you sometime later. That morning, Pinkie wakes up, reads the letter, rushes to the castle to wake up Starlight in the middle of her just sleeping, and she just like gets shocked awake and falls off the bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, um, I'm gonna be honest here, Pinkie. You were being a bit of a dick, and Pinkie's just like, ears fold back. It's like, I know. It's like, I want to feel for you, but at the same time, I kind of don't.
And again, I think that was the intention. I don't want to try and give. I don't want to give. This is going to sound weird. I don't want to give this show too much credit in the sense of I don't want to. I don't want to try and put on airs that everything they do is like intentional and it works. But at the same time, I really feel like that was the intention. Was like you were supposed to sympathize with Pinkie to a degree. That's why they gave her enough screen time for you to do that, but you weren't supposed to sympathize with Starlight and Maud. You were supposed to empathize with them,
Hmm.
which creates the duality of the situation of of the episode. So I think that was the point, but I'm not sure, only because the show has had its mixed messages from time to time.
Yeah, a little bit. So,
Only a little bit though.
and you notice that Ma's just walking through with Boulder, and She almost gets eaten by one of those giant moray eels. That was just
Oh
funny.
yeah,
She's
dude, that
just
was
standing there,
freaking
just like
hilarious.
wanting to mine a rock inside the eel's mouth. And it's like, you're about to get eaten. Uh, okay. She just does
Yeah,
not care.
yeah. I love that the implication is that she wasn't even aware that she was eaten, and like it's such an easy joke, but it's so freaking funny though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so Maud eventually decides to give Ponyville another chance. And they find an area in the caves that was previously not there. And it's this whole giant, like, oasis thing, looking like something straight out of, like, Athens, almost.
Straight out of Compton.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Straight out of Ponyville.
Crazy motherfucker named Pinkie.
There was one that I think it was just like, straight out of Fucks to Give or something. There was one where it was Jesus walking through and it says straight out of Nazareth.
Crazy little it's like crazy bearded Jew named Jesus.
So that's the episode.
Oh, yeah, that's the episode. Pinkie learns, you know what? Distance and time goes a long way. And Maud learned, you know what? I will stay in because that's the conclusion. Maud's like, I will stay in Ponyville because you know what? Pinkie's friends are all right, but I've got some friends. I've got a friend here now, and that's pretty nice. And Starlight's just like, damn, I'm getting so many bitches. I should start charging.
Yeah. What would you rate the episode though?
Out of let me see. If we're going by the star rating system, which is -5 stars out of 5 stars, it's about I would give it about a 4 star. But if we're doing it in the 1 to 10 thing, which is what we always do, I don't know why I try to pretend that we don't. I would give this one. Hmm. That's a good question because I've thought about because clearly I've thought about it, but what would I give it? I'd give it maybe it's kind of a weird number. I'd give it a 775.
7.75?
Yeah, because I feel like that's fair because not a bad episode by any means, not quite great, but again, it wasn't there wasn't even really anything too negative. Anything that was negative, I think, was intentional on the writer's part to get you to sympathize with Pinkie, but not so much that it takes away from the fact that she's wrong. But yeah, that works. Seven and 3/4 for me.
Yeah. I give this a 6.9 because actually 6.5 I should say. Because again, it's nothing against the episode. It's just Pinkie really ruined it for me. She really did. And trust me, we'll get to Friend Indeed soon enough. And you'll see me ranting and raving all there. But for now, I give this a 6.5.
Yeah, okay, I can understand. Well, I guess that's it from me over here as Snakeskin 94.
And me over here as John from the Undercover Brony.
And we will see you guys with less internet, with less computer bullshit. So, see you then.
Yep. So, peace out, Dragon, and check out the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown on YouTube.
And like Justifiable Treason on Facebook.